Dela writes, my MVVs, welcome.
Ebony is rumored to have wept so much as Ooni of Ife banishes her from his chamber, a tale of betrayal and the wrath of the gods. The atmosphere in the Grand Palace of Ile-Ife was heavy with tension, thick with the weight of tradition, reverence, and the spiritual forces that govern the land. The Ooni of Ife, the paramount ruler of Yoruba kingdom, sat on his majestic throne, his face hardened with fury, his royal chamber a place meant for deep reflection, ancestral communion, and the sacred responsibilities of the kingship had been, desecrated by an act so abominable that even the palace guard dared not to breathe too loudly. Ebony, who was one of the best of the Ooni of Ife. Remember, I will keep going back to that time where Olori Naomi left the palace, where the whole world said Ebony was the very best thing that's happened to the Ooni of Ife, and she was very happy because at that time she didn't even realize that Kabiyesi was going to marry all these women. She was thinking Kabiyesi would keep her the same way that, Kabiyesi kept Olori Naomi. Of course, Ebony once held favor in the palace, okay? Now found herself trembling on her knee. Her face wet with bitter tears as she begged for forgiveness. Her voice quivered as she pleaded, her hands outstretched towards the Ooni sister, of course, the princess, the tall, beautiful one, okay? We heard that, of course, they were also instrumental to Naomi leaving the palace, but on the other hand, they say the very tall one was a mother to Olori Naomi. They said Ebony begged. Ebony sobbed, her forehead pressing against the cold marble floor. I have sinned against you, against the gods and against the sacred land of our ancestors, please. Find it in your heart to forgive me. The Ooni of Ife's sister, who had been present during the confrontation, looked at Ebony with a mix of pity and disappointment. She too had been shocked when the full truth was revealed. Ebony had confessed to a grave spiritual offense as act of treachery against the god. Now, the question I'm asking is that, was it last week or last 2 weeks? We got a report, a rumored information, alleged, speculated, not supposed to be seen as fact that she went to Yeyemolu well to go and do purification. She did not add this among the crimes that she committed. That is my question. Of course, outside the palace, the news spread like wildfire. Market women shook their heads in disbelief. Elders in their compound spoke of how the young had lost respect for tradition. The spiritual consequences of Ebony's action were yet unknown, but one thing was certain: the gods of Ife never forgot a betrayer. Now, what are the implications of this? Every time I do a story, I go down to, telling you about the implications, right? The reason is because we need to learn, as it really learn, okay, how these things are, how they run these things. Now, they say Ebony's fate served as a grave warning to all who dared to challenge the divine order. The Yoruba people believe deeply in the power of destiny, and the Ooni of Ife was not merely a king, but a custodian of the God's way. Any attempt to manipulate or alter that which was an affront to the entire kingdom will never go unpunished. The reason why all of this happened is because of desperation. These people just sat down there and they felt like Naomi had everything working for her. Naomi did not deserve what she got. Naomi needs to go. The road needs to be open. For people like Ebony, Ebony is one of those people who think that she is very, very special. More special than Naomi, more special than every other person. And that was why when she gave birth to that child, she came out and told the entire world that it was a crown prince. And people jumped at her and jumped at her, even in the palace, everywhere, until, in fact, she didn't even know what to say again. She knew that to continue in that trajectory would be, something that might bring her a lot of problems. So she had to drop that. Now, Ebony has, all of these things. That one thing about a traditional community like that, no matter how much you try, one day your nyash go open, giddy bar, like nyashi go just open. That is exactly what has happened. Because who would have believed that among the things that was done to get Naomi out of the palace of the Ooni of Ife was a son from their own sacred, place? Who would have ever believed that? Nobody now. Nobody would have believed that. But yes, so it happened. A son from their own sacred place, sacred shrine, was also used to work against Olori Naomi. And for what? What has this woman done? She was there managing her marriage. Now, they have come now. They have seen her enjoyment and they have seen everything. They have come to realize that it is not even as easy as they thought that it would be. They have seen it. They say Ebony is in a very big mess right now, no? As we are hearing that the Ooni of Ife drove her out of his chamber. Ooni of Ife, that she actually came out to beg. Once they finished from where they were, and Ooni was going back to his chamber, they say Ebony followed suit. And Ebony, once Ooni entered, they say Ebony entered. And Ebony had gone there because she wanted to beg. They say you should have seen the way Kabiyesi, threw her out of the chambers, like pushed her out of the chambers. It was so humiliating. It was so, in fact, everything that Kabiyesi told her not to ever come anywhere close to his chamber again with that abomination that she has gone to go and commit. So, before Ife came to the palace, a lot of things were happening in the palace. Who would have known that some of these secrets that they are keeping left and right? But, what is done in the dark sometimes comes to light, and that is exactly what has happened right about now. It is not a small something. No. They say the wahala in the palace, Ebony's family, they cannot talk again. No. All those there, I am superior to this, I am superior to that. They said they are not talking again. A lot of things have happened in the palace that people thought that Kabiyesi, would have, done something about. Kabiyesi didn't do anything about because it had to do with Ebony. She comes from a very powerful dynasty. And the Gidi dynasty have a lot of influential people. And each time they want to take action, a lot of them will come out, they will fight and all of that. And only over time, they say he has just been trying to avoid them. That's if the information is true. But right now, it's not the Ooni of Ife talking. It's the elders. Everybody that is talking that she must serve her punishment, and one of those punishments will be to be divorced. And whether Ooni will have the heart to do it or not is what we are yet to see. I'm going to bring you more update. I appreciate you guys so much. Do not forget, these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.